Somebody has to do it.
Yeah. Just woke up. I ain't gonna wake up.
Somebody.
Emerging from a sea of bluish-green vegetation is a woman swinging from a tree. She's front and center in a bright pink dress that practically bubbles over the luxurious red velvet seat below her. The light shines on her as if it's direct from the heavens. The contrast in color between the woman and the background makes her come to life that much more. She seems to be in a luscious private garden due to the fencing that surrounds the area. She barely grips the ropes as she glides through the air. We catch her when she reaches the tippy top of her swing ride. She lifts her left leg high, flinging her kitten heel in the air playfully. Her other shoe seems to hang on by a thread, but she doesn't care. She has someone to pick it up for her if it happens to fall. Down below her, there's a man lying in a bush with his arm outstretched toward the woman. He looks up at her in an excited, goofy kind of way. But what exactly is he looking at? Oh, okay. That makes sense. But forget about the fact that he can see up her skirt. Her ankle is showing. A very erotic gesture at the time. Is he in shock? Okay, so a guy commissioned a private portrait of himself looking up his partner's skirt while she's swinging. It's a little unorthodox, but not that big of a deal, right? Wrong. Here's the kicker. The man that commissioned the painting is the man in the bush, and he's also the woman's lover, not her husband. This older man is her husband. Probably anyway. I mean, it's art, so there's always an element of uncertainty. He looks up at his wife affectionately, blissfully unaware of the younger man hiding away, not far from him. When the unnamed gentleman of the court commissioned the piece, he had a very specific vision. His requests were as follows, quote, "I would like you to paint Madame on a swing, being pushed by a bishop. You will place me in a way that I am within reach of seeing the legs of this beautiful child. Even better, if you want to brighten up the painting further." I would definitely say that he brightened the painting further, but Fragonard also took some artistic liberties, maybe even a bit of a dig, substituting the bishop for the deceived husband. And honestly, it's genius. Because as everyone knows, the motion of a swing is back and forth, much like the woman going back and forth between her lover and her husband, a love triangle of sorts. And although her husband seems to be the one in control, holding the reins, and she is bound by the ropes of marriage, they seem to be becoming a bit frayed. And when you think about it, she's really the only one in control in this situation. She seems confident and at ease. The only one, except for us, who's aware of everything that's going on in the scene. It's interesting that Fragonard chose to give her so much presence and authority in this piece, both physically, since she's obviously the biggest and brightest in the painting, and also in theme. Without a worry in the world, she flings her petite heel toward a statue of Cupid holding a finger to its lips, letting us know that whatever happens in the mystical fairy garden stays in the mystical fairy garden. People at the time would have immediately recognized the resemblance between this and the menacing Cupid statue created by Etienne Maurice Falconet in 1757 for Madame de Pompadour, King Louis XV's mistress. Another chubby baby statue is placed on the right side of the painting. These kinds of statues are also called puto or putti, just in case you ever need to know that for trivia or something. But these babies, who seem to be riding a dolphin, have shocked and even shameful looks on their faces. A fluffy white dog on the right side of the painting appears to be barking at her. Dogs were often seen as symbols of fidelity, and let's just say this dog doesn't look very pleased. The fact that the dog is barking loudly, almost as if it's trying to alert the world of what's actually going on, is in stark contrast to the silent, secret-keeping Cupid. This creates an interplay between the left and the right side of the painting. The left side seems to be encouraging the reckless exchange, while the right side seems to be advocating fidelity and restraint. During this time, private commissions like this one were intended for display in intimate rooms in wealthy individuals' homes known as cabinets. which is exactly where it would have stayed hidden. Here, the patron and his friends could delight in art that depicted a diversion from social norms.
I don't know if she said it. I don't think she said it, but the part where the husband is holding the reins is also kind of showing like a control over the wife.
For their own private and personal pleasure. The work was so enjoyed by those that saw it that an artist by the name of Nicholas Stoloni created a print version in 1792 that could be circulated in front of a larger, albeit still socially elite, audience. The swing marked a turning point in Fragonard's career. Before it, he mainly completed paintings for royalty, and after it, he mainly did private commissions. It's possible that his carefree, playful style fit more in line with the latter. I definitely think so. But let me know what you think. In any case, as a result, less critical commentary and documentation exists of his works, and a deep dive into his paintings has only recently begun to take place in the last few decades. Thank goodness, the world needed more of this, in my opinion. To me, this painting is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks so whimsical and innocent at first glance, and has even been referenced in movies like Frozen. But when you dig a little deeper, things aren't exactly as they seem. Thanks for the...
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I'm kind of into art. I have been, I don't know. It's that like feeling all cultured and shit, right? I don't know. I took some art classes and shit. So like, and some theater classes and shit. So, you know, I never really got that deep into like theaters, especially, but I have a real appreciation for art. Let me read this caption. It says, this piece is called The Swing by Jean-Henri Fragonard, a famous 18th century French Rococo painting that changed the trajectory of his career and ended up being his greatest masterpiece. It was a private commission that he was never supposed to create in the first place, but we're glad he did. Although it looks lighthearted and playful, things aren't always as they seem. There are many hidden symbols and meanings in the painting that make it so interesting to look at. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it makes it really interesting, you know, and you just think about all of that stuff. So, yeah, so he was probably, she said that his career went to private sector, and I'm sure he was making money. Those people were like, man, we saw that painting, bro. That shit was sick, wicked, nasty. I want one just like it, and I'll pay you whatever is a large amount of money of the day. And he was like, shit, bet. Let me read some comments underneath the video. This one says, if you understand historical clothing, this is incredibly scandalous. A woman wore a shift, a plain gown, a pair of stays, modern day corset, petticoats, and finally a skirt and bodice. The 2020 Emma in the Anna Taylor Joy has a scene where she warms herself at the fire by lifting her dress, and she is not wearing panties. Underwear, as we know it, was not used. It would have made it very difficult to use the restroom. Therefore, the man looking up her skirt would have a direct view of her nether regions, especially with her legs akimbo. Ankles are not a big deal. Skirt lengths were above the ankle at the calf. See, somebody giving us some more insight on it, you know? So the clothing that she had on already was, as far as this guy is saying, it was like she had on her underwear already on the swing. Let me read some more. It says, I get why people would like it at a glance. Its colors are soft yet bright and attractive. There's the weird effect of everything looking cloudy and flowing, like the trees in the background and her gown. It is a very dynamic as far as old paintings go. And to be honest, this interpretation just added another fascination and engaging layer to the painting. And you know, I wonder if like a painting like this, because it becomes popular, and then the people, they do understand the painting. Like the women, maybe they get it, but they don't say that they get it. They don't communicate what it really means, like what it's really saying. And then everybody is like, okay, well, art is subjective. So, you know, what it means to you, what it's saying to you is different from what it's saying to this other person or whatever. But all the women that see the painting, or a good amount of them, look at it and they peeping game right away. And then the guys are looking at it in a whole totally different way. I wonder. Let me read some more. It says, Disney uses a lot of hidden symbolism, so I think they knew exactly what they were doing in Frozen and used the painting as reference to the story's upcoming love triangle, especially as it referenced during the song where she's wanting to seduce a man. Some of the other paintings she jumps into are a bit questionable too. I don't know about all that, but I'm not as educated on all of that to make a comment on that, if that's true or not. The painting is even included in children's art books because most people don't know what's going on. Another comment, it says, I don't know what kind of mystical fairy garden you came from, but you are such a breath of fresh air among artsy YouTube channels. I love your videos. Da 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 da. I always thought it was obvious she was deliberately tossing her shoe to her secret lover. I never knew anyone thought it was innocent. I also didn't know the commissioner was a lech, and I certainly hadn't considered the nature of a Georgian garb is respect to underwear. Am I saying it right? Georgian garb in respect to underwear. Another comment, it says, this is one of my favorite paintings. Thank you for doing a video on it. Perhaps it's very basic of me, but I primarily like it for colors. I adore the way the pink of the dress practically glows in the verdant shadows of the garden. So there goes the subjective part about art, because maybe this person doesn't even care about the provocativeness or lack thereof, or if it's innocent or not innocent, or what the hell is even happening in the painting. They're just enjoying it for the colors. And then it's like that. So they're going to talk about that in the video I'm about to play, but just enjoying art for what it is and not freaking like over fucking thinking it and just like, okay, let it aesthetically please me. It says the use of this painting in Frozen is quite brilliant. Anna was engaged to Hans but fell in love with Kristoff at the same time. Also, in the first time in forever, she was singing about finding a special one as well. I do not believe that was done unintentionally. Another comment, I love the painting except for the eyes. The eyes in the piece are just downright creepy. I always wondered if the artist just didn't do eyes well or if he means for them to look creepy. In his other works, again, there are some creepy eyes, but then some are just okay. Another comment, it says, I find it hilarious that the swing was scandalous for showing the lady's leg ankle, but the work, 7-11, by the same artist shows a bare breast woman and was totally acceptable. Well, that person is trying to pick apart the perspective of the, but the other guy already explained that it's like she's in her underwear already, so...
Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así?